Hi there, welcome to the Happy Chicken Coop YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us today. We're gonna be talking about the best meat chicken breeds. These are the best breeds for farm to table. These are the chicken breeds that people look for to feed their families. And we're gonna be talking about these different breeds and how to care for them. Before we get into that, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also be sure to subscribe to our website, thehappychickencoop.com. If you subscribe using the link in the description below, you will receive a free ebook on the 10 best egg-laying chicken breeds. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. So when we think of meat chicken breeds, we often have a picture-perfect, fat, heavy-breasted white bird in our minds. But the truth is, there's many different breeds of chickens to choose from. In fact, limiting your options will only guarantee that you'll miss out on different flavors, experiences, and opportunities to get more out of your chicken. In this video, you'll soon discover that there's a lot more to consider and choose from when looking for the right meat chicken to raise for you and your family. The best meat chicken breeds and what to consider when selecting. Selecting a meat chicken comes down to your own preferences because when all is said and done, you can eat any type of chicken or bird for that matter. Some just tend to have a larger body and will provide more meat than others. If you're looking for that picture perfect hen, the one you've probably seen in the grocery store on TV is the Cornish cross. But if you're interested in learning about other breeds of chickens that are often raised for meat, then you'll want to take a look at the following considerations to pick from. If you're not sure when to process your chickens, we also have a guide for that. I'll link to that in the description. So let's start with the size of the bird. It's no surprise that the larger the chicken, usually the more meat on the dinner table. While the Cornish cross is the standard for large meat chickens, there are many heritage and dual-purpose breeds that have plenty of heft to bring to the table as well. If you're looking for a good meat to bone ratio, go for the standard broilers rather than heritage. But if you're okay with a little less meat, but an equally tasty meal, a heritage breed might just be right. There is a controversial consideration that I'd like you to take. Some chicken owners are not comfortable with raising breeds that were developed for commercial processing. And that's because these chickens were developed to grow extremely fast to keep up with supply and demand and make more money. Now, what's wrong with fast-growing chickens, you ask? Unfortunately, these chickens can have a slew of medical problems due to the unnatural rapid growth rates. In fact, some chickens grow so fast and abnormally large that their legs cannot support their bodies. They also may overeat and have heart and respiratory problems, which could lead to death before they get to processing weight. Since you're probably not in the business of raising meat chickens yet, you're most likely okay with a slower growing bird as well. There is a right time for everything. If the time is a concern for you and you've got a deadline to hit, you're not going to find a faster growing meat chicken than the Cornish cross. However, you can always check with your hatchery for recommendations on their favorite fast-growing meat breeds. Now we're going to talk about the taste testing difference between these best meat chicken breeds. Believe it or not all chickens taste exactly the same. In fact, some say heritage breeds or chickens raised on pasture taste different from one another. While the taste difference from breed to breed isn't always noticeable, there is something to be said for how a chicken is raised and how it affects the taste. All that to say, there are some breeds of chickens that are touted for their amazing flavor, like the Bressie, for example. If you're looking for something new, dig around and see what people are saying about flavorful chicken breeds and how to raise them. Now we're going to talk about the appearance of a processed meat bird. First time I saw a dressed heritage breed, I think it was a Rhode Island Red, I was a bit put off. The breastbone was much more prominent than the broilers I'd purchased in the store. The skin color was a bit different, almost yellow, and I wasn't sure what to think of it. In hindsight, I now realize I was seeing a regular chicken for the first time, not a Cornish cross, and it did in fact taste great. If these differences make your tummy turn, then consider sticking with the Cornish cross and its large carcass and pearly white skin. If you're up for something new, go for one of the heritage breeds I talk about later in this video. Let's go through the temperament of meat breeds. Perhaps you're not all that interested in how your meat chickens will behave, but if you're planning on raising them as dual purpose, so for meat and eggs, they might be around longer than 9 weeks as a typical broiler. And you might prefer a friendlier resident rather than a feisty one. With that being said, Cornish crosses are quite lazy and calm. For example, they're easier to catch on processing day. But if you're looking for a pet-like chicken and you can stomach butcher day, then consider researching the personality of your options before making a selection. Let's dive into some other desirable qualities of the best meat chicken breeds. Other things to consider are characteristics like free range ability, egg laying frequency, and even ornamental talents. Are these traits important to you? If they are, I've got a few interesting breeds for you to consider. Each of the following categories has something to offer, and there's really no wrong choice here, so have fun while you listen and learn even more about your meat chicken options. First, we're going to start off with the Cornish cross, like I've already been addressing. When you think of the typical chicken breast in your local grocery store, you're probably going to envision a white meat piece of chicken with some heft to it. In most cases, that breast comes from a Cornish cross. The size is large, about 5 pounds for processing. The taste is what you're used to. The appearance is pearly white flesh, large breast, and picture perfect. The growth rate is fast, and the egg production is barely really any, so it's not really recommended as a dual purpose breed. Again, the controversy surrounding the Cornish cross stems from some of the health complications that develop in the chicken due to unnatural growth rates and overeating. Some consider it inhumane. The next breed are Rangers. Luckily, there's an alternative to the Cornish cross, which is also considered an excellent broiler with fast growth and a large carcass. You'll often find this chicken referred to as a variety of names depending on the hatchery: the Rainbow Ranger, the Gray Ranger, or Freedom Ranger, among others. From here on out, most chicken carcasses' skin will not be pure white or pinkish like the Cornish cross, so keep that in mind if you prefer the photo perfect chicken on your dinner table. And as a side note, it's merely a difference in color, not quality or flavor. So these chickens are typically large in size, second to the Cornish cross breed. They can weigh about 5 pounds or more. Their taste is mildly sweeter than the Cornish cross, or mildly sweeter than what you're used to. The appearance is smaller breasted and has a variety of skin colors. They grow very fast, and their egg production is definitely not recommended as a dual purpose breed. All right, a quick special note. Some enjoy raising this as a free-range meat bird as it is savvier than the Cornish cross in the yard. Either of the two I just mentioned will grow faster than the heritage or specialty breeds I'm about to go over. Now we'll talk about the heritage breeds. The Livestock Conservancy's definition of a heritage breed is a heritage chicken is hatched from a heritage egg served by an American Poultry Association standard breed established prior to the mid-20th century. It is slow growing, naturally mated with a long productive outdoor life. In short, these chickens are your typical farm chickens. In most cases, they'll do well living in a free range or outdoor environment. They don't have the same genetically developed health issues as the Cornish cross, and they don't need to be processed before their body cannot support itself anymore. While the skin and appearance of the finished product may be different than the Cornish cross, some swear the flavor is much better. I'll let you make the call. The following two breeds are common favorites for heritage breed meat chickens. The Buff Orpington. The Buff Orpington is one of many Orpingtons in this breed category. They come in different colors like splash, lavender, black, and even blue. The Buff Orpington is a large-bodied chicken with fluffy feathering and extremely docile temperament. They are also very good layers and do well in both hot and cold climates with the appropriate accommodations. Their size is pretty large. They can grow up to 8 to 10 pounds prior to processing. Their appearance is whitish skin depending on the variety, and so that whitish skin can change. The taste is mildly sweeter than what you're used to and more flavorful and fatty than other breeds, but in a good way, because in my opinion, I prefer chicken thighs because there's more fat, which means there's more flavor to it. The growth rate is pretty slow, actually, compared to the other two breeds I named. They process at about 18 weeks, and the egg production is also decent. So you can use this as a dual purpose breed because they can lay up to 180 eggs per year. Now, the next one is the Jersey Giant. As the name suggests, the Jersey Giant is a very large breed, and if you got some extra time on your hands, the Jersey Giant will mature slowly but provide a large carcass for the table. The Jersey Giant is also considered a gentle giant and a good breed for those with kids. They are gorgeous chickens with iridescent black feathers. Their size is probably the largest on this list. They can grow between 11 to 13 pounds prior to processing. Their taste is considered full flavor. When all the feathers are plucked, the skin's appearance is yellowish. The growth rate definitely on the longer side. They can take up to 6 months to a year prior to processing. and their egg production is actually good. They also can be used as a good dual purpose breed, and they can lay approximately 200 eggs per year. Now, let's talk about some other dual purpose breeds, because I just listed a couple heritage breeds. While the heritage breeds are also good layers, the following two breeds are also known to be fantastic dual purpose breeds because they tend to both finish out well and provide plenty of eggs over a year. This first one is a super popular one, the Rhode Island Red, usually prized for its egg production capabilities. The fact that this large breed is also a fantastic meat chicken is often overlooked. The Rhode Island Red can lay up to 250 eggs per year and will dress out around 4 pounds when all is said and done after processing. Additionally, the Rhode Island Red is a hardy breed that tends to do well in either free range or confined environment, while roosters have a reputation for being aggressive. Not all of them are. For their size, when they're alive prior to processing, they can be up to 6 to 8 pounds. As far as their taste, they're mildly sweeter and full flavored. The growth rate is not too long. It takes about 5 months for them to be table ready. And their egg production, like I said before, is excellent, 250 eggs per year. So that's quite a bit. The next dual purpose breed is the Wyandotte. If you'd like to enjoy a little color of and ornamental offerings, as well as eggs and meat, the Wyandotte is perfect for you. It's a larger heritage breed that lays a fair amount of eggs. The Wyandotte's coloring is breathtaking, with solid feathers laced with contrasting colors. This beauty is another friendly, docile breed of chicken that provides plenty of protein for your family. So when they're alive, prior to processing, they can be up to about 8 pounds. The taste is less plump and not as juicy, got a pretty mild flavor to it. The appearance of the skin color after processing is yellow. The growth rate is also not really short, but still like not on the longer side. I'd say like right in the middle, about 4 months for them to be ready for the table. And their egg production is also great, which they lay about 200 eggs per year. Now, let's talk about some specialty breeds. I touched on this one a little bit earlier. It's the Bresse chicken. It's a meat chicken that was developed in France and is sought after for its delicious meat. It may be hard to get your hands on a live Bresse for raising because true Bresses are only available in Bresse, France. If you ever get the chance to try a Bresse, go for it. Now, its size is about 6 pounds prior to processing when it's alive. Its taste is considered the best in the world. Its growth rate is pretty good, 10 pasture weeks plus 2 weeks of organic feed. So what is that, about 3 months? Its egg production is also awesome, about the same as the Rhode Island Red. They can lay up to 250 eggs per year. Now, this last breed here is the Silkie. While the Silkie is small and a bantam, it's an interesting chicken to raise for meat. In a sense, it could be considered a novelty meat chicken. They are small, tender, and their skin is actually black. In fact, this might be a fantastic niche market to try to sell. So, like I said, its size is small, because it's a bantam chicken. Its taste is actually more gamey than all the others that I listed. Its appearance of its skin after processing is black. The growth rate is slow. It can take up to 10 to 12 months to be ready for the table, and its egg production is also not great. They lay about 100 small eggs per year. So to summarize, as you can see, when it comes to meat chickens, your options are hardly limited to the Cornish cross broiler. In fact, before the broiler was developed, the only chickens people had the pleasure of eating were heritage breeds. So go ahead, pick something that suits your needs, give a few new chicken breeds a try, and stick with what you like best. It's important that before you process your meat birds, make sure you have all the processing and butchering equipment you will need, or obviously find someone who can process the chickens for you. Well, that's going to do it for us here at the Happy Chicken Coop YouTube channel. If you find our content interesting, if you learn something new, if it changes your perspective, please be sure to like this video and subscribe and share it with your friends. And with that, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.